Then, little game developer elves, I hope that it works now because the new interface, whatever YouTube has, it's a little bit weird. Anyways, the first thing that I want to get out of the way, can you hear me clearly? So can you hear me well? So just put that in the comment. Let me just see over here. So listen, social gamer gang, I'm going to ban you for, well, advertising yourself. I don't want that anyways. Hello to everyone, and I hope that you can hear me. So what is the idea behind this live stream? As I said, I'm going to debug projects that are from other people. I'm going to first preview the two projects that I have. So the first one here is called Dragon Hunters, as you can see here on the screen. Or actually, you cannot see, I need to move myself away. So I'm going to put myself here at the top. So now you can see the Dragon Hunters on the screen. I can click here play, and of course you have also sound effects and whatnot. Here you have levels, as you can see. So let me go over here on this first level, start the hunt, and you can see the game or what the game is about. So it's a mobile game as well as a computer game. You can zoom in here, you can shoot the dragon, he falls down, voila, you win the game. So this is the first one, and the second project is this right here. It's a zombie shooter. As you can see, I need to lower the volume just a little more because it is loud. And as you can see, the zombies begin to spawn at and here are the zombies, and yada yada yada. I'm going to show you how you can debug these projects and how you can learn from that. So I'm hoping that you can see me, or I need to put myself here at the top or the bottom left corner so that you guys can actually see me. Come on, where is my camera? Here it is, so that I can put myself a little bit up. Anyways, what I want to achieve with this is the following. I want to help you learn how to debug code. So that's number one thing. How to debug your own projects, how to also work with other people's projects, which is really important because if you understand the concepts that I'm going to teach you right here, then you will be able to debug your own projects. You will not have issues when you have that null reference exception. You will know how to basically figure out your own problems. That's number one thing. The second thing is that you will learn from other projects that you find online. So you will learn how to, as I said, how to learn from other projects online, which is really beneficial because one way to learn, besides from following tutorials, is also downloading projects from GitHub and so on and so forth. And also what I want to say is, depending on how you like this video, how many of you watch it, how many views it gets, how many watch time it gets, I might recreate this full game in a live stream with you guys. I will give you the assets, I will give you everything. You can download that below this video after I finish, if I see the interest to do that. So okay, anyways, let's get into it. So let me just take myself and lower or minimize myself. And the first thing I'm going to do is, let's go over here inside of our simple co-op zombie FPS example. And one thing that I want to do, let me just first grab my laptop over here because I want to open YouTube and see your questions over here as well. So let me just quickly grab that so that I can answer your question as well as follow along with the tutorial. Okay, so we are live now. Let me just turn off the volume over here. Okay, here we go. So the first thing that I want to, or how I debug projects that I find online, is that you want to know what is going on inside the project. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to run the game. But before even that, you need to go over here, and I'm doing this, as you can see, with Unity. If there is interest for this, as I said, I will also do it for Unreal. So the first thing that you're going to do is go under File and then Build Settings so that you can see which scenes are the main scenes. Because over here, currently in this project, we only have one scene. But for this other project, if I go under File and then Build Settings, you will notice over here that I have New Menu, which is the first scene. Then we have the level selection, level 1, so on and so forth. You get the point. So we have here these from level 1 to level 10. what you need to know is which is the main scene where you need to start, because then inside of that scene you're going to see everything that you have already. So currently over here we have the map, we have the floor, and you can turn everything on and off to see what is what, as you can see. So the floor is the floor. As you can see, we have the obstacles. If you turn it off, you will see everything inside of the scene, what it is. And let me just zoom in over here. There you go. So after you have that nailed down, you want to know what is going on, or how to start debugging. Well, first thing, I run the game, and here is the player. So we see that we have the player who shoots and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out where is the player script. So I'm going to pause the game and find here the player, and here it is, the player. He's cloned, and if you click on the player, you will see everything that he has attached on him. So the player has the character controller, and basically this is the player. As you can see, it's a capsule with these two arms, and if you go in the game view, this is what you actually see in the game view, which is like a Counter-Strike game. And you will see all the scripts that he has attached on here. So he has the first person controller. If I double click on it, it will start opening over here in Visual Studio. And let me just move it over here. It will start opening, and you can see where it is. So it is located over here in the first person controller under the standard assets, characters, first person controller scripts. And let me just find, let me just quickly find over here. And I also have an Unreal Engine project ready. I want to use this. Okay, so there we go. Okay. Going back to the project. As you can see over here, it is located in the standard assets, which means this right here that we have, this is from the standard asset. This is built in with Unity. So this is nothing that the person who created this project, that he didn't code this. So he just used the assets that are available by Unity. He also added the rigid body, audio source. We have the reward text, health manager, level system, file system, player script. Let me just double click on the player script. Now this is his custom script that he has created. And since I have edited the script now, I think that we will see errors over here. Yeah, I think we will see here errors, so I need to turn it off. But as you can see now that I started to find which scripts are used on the character or on the player character. So we see that we have the player script, and inside of here, what he's doing is health manager. He's just managing. As you can see, this is one of the things that I'm teaching you in my tutorials, to name variables correctly. So you see here, he has the health manager, and the health manager is a script, and you can also find it like this. You can double click on it. You can go here in the project, and here in the search, you can simply paste health manager, and you can see where it is located. So health manager is located under scripts and then health manager. So here it is. And the health manager basically manages the health. And you can see over here, he also added some comments which are helpful to you as a third person who is watching his project or debugging his project. So over here, what he's doing inside of this player script is he's detecting if the health manager is dead. And over here, let us see, is dead. Let me just find it over here. It's probably a function. There you go. Here it is. So it's a public bool, and it will return true. You see, if the health is less than or equal to 0, it will return true. You get the point. So you see, you get the point. And basically, if this returns true and it's not destroyed, then we will say it's destroyed is true, and he will then destroy the player. So this is what he's doing inside of this script. I was hoping that he actually has over here a custom build movement for the player. So if you want to recreate this, I want to show you how would you do that as well. So this right here, we're not going to try to recreate, because as I said, this is the first person controller that's already built into Unity. And I'm not going to try to recreate that. But what I can do is I can try to recreate the movement of the player. Prepare to fight. Using, by recreating the player from scratch, and also using some online resources to show you how you can do that without the issues that usually beginners face. And then we can also see the enemies and how he created the enemy AI and how they are tracking the player, following the player, so on and so forth. I'm going to pause here for a moment and see your questions. So Unity shader is hard, need hello from Nigeria. So do you actually, guys, do you have actually questions in regards to the live stream, like in the regards to debugging? Because, you know, as I said, this is probably the most important video that I published, that I'm doing on my channel, and the questions are Unity shaders. This is a new tutorial. I'm showing you how to debug a project, so like how to dive into other people's project and how you can learn by doing so. So this is the main point of this live stream. So are there actually questions in regards to this? If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to locate the player over here. So let me just locate the player, which is, he's in the resources, prefab, and then player. Here it is. So this is the player game object, the player character that we already have inside of our game, that when we hit the start button, we have it. So this is the player, and I'm going to try and recreate that player. And you can see over here, he has different weapons. So if I turn them on, so this is what he has. So one of the weapons that he has. And if I turn this off and turn this on, he has, see, this is a shotgun. You can see how this works, you know, and I want to show you how you can actually utilize all this to your own advantage as a resource for you to learn. And yeah, so are there any questions in regards to this? I'm looking over here at my screen on the laptop, searching for your questions. But if you don't have any questions, I can try to recreate this player character. One upcoming vehicle mode in Unity. I'm having issues with the stream, probably because the weather is bad. Which software are you using? This is Unity. As I said, first we're going to debug projects in Unity, then we will try to debug in Unreal, as I said, if there is interest. If people are interested in this kind of video. Sir, if I missed, what is wrong with this project? Nothing is wrong, but as I said, I'm debugging it. I'm showing you how to locate the scripts that are attached. How to, for example, if you want to create movement like this, so for example,
prepare to fight.
Player, if you want to create a movement like this, I'm going to show you how to do that. And I already have 2 players because I used one by default over here, so I need to delete him. Will you keep the live stream up so I can watch it later? Yeah, of course. Yeah, this live stream is going to be up, but unfortunately I'm having issues. Let me just quickly check over here. I have issues with the live stream. Stream health is healthy, but why isn't it in full? Why isn't it in full HD? For some reason it's not. Anyways, it's not important. So if you guys don't have any questions, in regards to this, I'm going to recreate this character. Okay, not Unreal Engine projects. I'm going to recreate this character. I'm going to use him and actually create a new one by simply following this character over here. This is how you can also learn. Also, do you handle errors during game testing? On my current project, I have received errors that are causing my player to glitch out before I start coding. Like with physics or animation. Not sure I understand the question. Can you please make a tutorial on how to create 2D multiplayer game things? Okay, so no questions. Apparently, no questions. I was hoping this live stream is going to be better than the previous one, but yeah. It's more interesting to talk about game engines than actually see how to debug a project. So what I'm going to do over here is take this player and I'm going to recreate him simply. So I'm going to see what everything or all the components he has. Okay, I get it. This is so we can find all the scripts on the objects and know what they do. I had that problem in group once. It's not only about that, serious name. It's also about this will help you debug your own projects. It will help you learn how to tackle other people's projects, because if you work in a game studio or if you work freelance and somebody just gives you a project that somebody already did, then you know you need to find your way around it. So I'm just going to show you one of the benefits. I'm going to try and recreate the same player. So what you can do simply over here is you can create an empty game object. I'm going to call it my player. So my player. And let me see. this, I'm just going to copy his position. I'm going to paste his position on the paste component values. There we go. And I'm going to move him over here. So what does this player game object has attached on it? So he has the character controller. You can simply select your character and you can attach the character controller. And that way you can also learn and see what the character controller does. So over here, the slope limit of the character controller is 45.3.8. 45.3.008. Everything is normal over here. Minimal movement distance here, he set that to 0, so we're going to do that as well. Radius 0.66, 2.13. So over here 0.66, 2.13, and you already see how you can start dissecting how you can start dissecting other people's projects. Okay, I see now what is the issue. Okay. So you already see how you can start dissecting this project. And what else do we have? So we have the character controller, we have the rigid body. And I don't understand why he put a character controller with the rigid body, because already the character controller, I do believe, contains a rigid body inside of itself, or at least it has a velocity that you can use to move it. You have an audio source and everything else are the scripts. So over here you can also attach an audio source. And there you go. So we don't need anything else. First person character. So this right here is actually the camera that he used to attach on the player. And also the player himself has the first person controller script. So if you attach the first person controller script, there you go. I do believe that we can already start controlling this character. But let me just see over here on the first person controller. So minimum walk speed is 5. Over here, we need to say 5. Is aiming, we're not going to set that. Run speed is 7. So let me just see over here. Run speed is 7. And you can see what I'm doing. Basically, you can copy all of these and you can play with these. You can play with the settings. Let me just go over here, copy. And let's go over here and paste component values. So what he did, run step length 0.7, jump speed 7, stick to ground force 10, gravity multiplier, there you go. So we have all the jump and the land foot play sounds. Let me just see over here. Okay, so everything is as it's supposed to be. First person character, this is basically just the camera, so you can right click over here and attach a camera. And 0.8 is the position of the Y axis, so 0.8. And already you see what I have on this player. So already you see, and let me try and see if this character will be actually
prepared to fight.
So where is main character? Control. I need to attach on him this capsule that he also has temporary. Yeah, this is what I need. Temporary render. So I need to right click, and this is actually below the camera. So right click and create an empty game object, and I'm going to call this temp render. So temp render, so that we can actually see the player inside. So over here I simply need to attach a mesh filter. So mesh filter, and mesh filter basically will allow us to display this. It will allow us to display a 3D model. So if I select this mesh filter here, you will see that he has a capsule, and also he needs a mesh render. So mesh renderer. And over here I can simply search for the capsule, attach the capsule, there you go. And here for the mesh render, he has the default material. Let me just find it over here, default material. There you go. So we have this as well. So you can see how this works. And this one, do I need to position him? So the camera, okay, the temp render is outside the camera, so it's over here, and he is at 0, 0. So also here at 0, 0. There you go. And now let me just see if he is going to be controlled by just using the first person control.
Prepare to fight.
Yeah, you see? Already he's being controlled, and there he goes. You see? There he goes. If I move, he also moves, because we have attached all of this over here. Of course, we don't have anything else, but you can see what I'm doing here. slowly but surely I started to recreate the same thing that we have here inside of this project that I took. So slowly but surely, and you can see that we already can control him, but this is not what I wanted actually. I was hoping that he had some custom coded movement, because I'm not going to go through all of this over here. This is already built in by the Unity team. I'm not going to go through all here and try to debug this, because there is no need to do that, because this is, as I said, already built in. You can use this whenever you want. It's not the point of this video. But let me just see over here. Do you have any questions? Can you make pause or game menu in the zombie game? Where are you from? Can you make iOS game in Unity? Can. Nox was your player messing up before attaching scripts? Well, basically, I planned this live stream to be a little bit different, but apparently you guys don't care, so I'm probably going to stop this live stream soon. So, I mean, I did a little bit of debugging, but I don't see that people are actually interested for this, so I'm probably going to cut it off here and think of something else for our live stream. What else can I do? Let me just check if you have any questions, just in case, before I decide to end this live stream. Nope. Okay, let me just check over here. We have the game manager, network manager, and then he is the one who's going to spawn the player. So let me just see over here where he is actually spawning the player. We have the game object player. Does he actually do anything with this network manager? So here is the player. Maybe not as a live video. I'm watching, but I have any questions. Organized coding with class and interfaces. Okay, let me just see over here, player spawning point, but who is actually spawning the player? Let me just see over here who is spawning the player, because I want to add my own player over here, which I can do now. I can take this player here and paste it, and I can remove this player from here and this player from here. And in the game manager, I assume now that if I attach my player here instead of the regular player, that now he will spawn my player.
Prepare to fight.
Yeah, he did. But we don't have the movement with the mouse, you see? We don't have... What is debugging? What is the purpose? The purpose is to debug your project and actually solve errors that you get in your project. That is the purpose of debugging. So over here I found out that if I put my player here for the game manager, he's going to spawn the player, but for some reason I don't see how he is spawning the player, which is not important at the moment. Star lobby cam active. Here it is. Instantiate player. Okay, here is where he is spawning the player inside of the game. And he's spawning the player, which is this here, public one that we have just attached. So this over here, and he is spawning it at the player spawn position. Now what I want to do is, let me just activate my player again. What I want to do is I want to make my player actually move, because, and when I say move, I want to control him with the mouse. So let's go over here. If I hit the play button now, it will spawn my player, but I cannot control him with the mouse. As you can see, it's not working. So that is done. If I select this player, the original player that is, and I'm going to rename him to original player, so that we know that I'm using the original one. If I select the first person camera, I believe shop detector, let me just click over here, because somewhere over here he needs to have the mouse input, because he's using the mouse to move, to navigate up and down, left and right. Webcam here, weapon cam, weapon holder, weapon manager. Level system, fun system, player. I don't believe that he's actually... Let me go here inside of the scripts. Inside the player script, he's not moving the player, okay. I don't think that is done here in the first person controller. Main camera, original count, adjustment, local position. Maybe it is. In the first person controller, I do need to, let me just check over here if he set the main camera to this. Okay, so I believe if I set the camera over here to main camera and apply this, so if I go now and hit the play button,
Prepare to fight.
so this is all this movement is done inside of the first person character. So in the first person controller, this is nothing built, so nothing here is built with custom, but you can see how I am slowly debugging this project and recreating the same thing that we have over here. And this is essential, as I said, if you want to learn from other people's project, and if you're working in a game studio where you already have a finished project that you need to add more features, work on it, whatnot. So this is how you can basically start to debug that project. So this is the whole idea behind this video, what I wanted to do. So everything over here is done inside of the first person controller. As I said, this is already built in, but I didn't use this. You can see he gets this from the camera main, and then from here, let me just take this M camera and find step interval. So this is where he is resetting or rotating the main camera. So, okay. Local position, update camera position. So this is where that is happening. Okay. So basically this was my idea. Yeah, just figured out from you seriously. You see that he's showing you what is debugging and why to debug. Please make video. Please make video. Would debugging a project optimize your game performance? Yes, of course. Debugging a project is, if you want to optimize your game, you will need to debug to see where your game is not optimized so that you can actually optimize it. But yeah. So this is slowly, or this is how we are slowly debugging the main player. And over here, if you want to control or add everything or recreate everything, what you can do is, let me just go back to the player. Over here, you see we have the weapon holder. You can, let me just double click this and see, this is a custom build script. So this is a custom build script that the person who created this project built it. So here we have an enumeration of all the weapons that we have: Glock, AKM, MP5K, M70, M870, whatever. Primary weapon, secondary weapon, current weapon, okay. So this is where he is actually initializing the weapon that we can use or that you have in the game. And what you can do is, you can go now over here under cameras, you can see because he added that under the camera. So what you can do is, and also notice over here, he also set a special camera for the weapons, which means what he did here for this camera, he turned off the layer for the weapon. So you see we have here the layer for the weapon. What does that mean? That means if I take the weapons now and put them in the game and turn off this weapon camera, we will not be able to see the weapon because he turned off the weapon layer, which I assume the weapons are on that layer. Let me just go over here. Okay, let me just find where are the weapons. Here it is. You see? It's set on the weapon layer, as you can see over here. So yeah. Now basically this is... let me just ban this dude. Man, you are spamming. Actually, okay. There you go. So he's removed. There you go. Please don't spam. These live streams are not for spamming. It's just to show you how you can do basic things. But anyways, as I said, I'm probably going to cut off the video now. I will see how you guys will react for people who will watch this later on, because as I said, if there is an interest for this, I can rebuild this whole project in the live stream, just showing you like how to rebuild
Prepare to
everything
fight.
here you see from scratch. Let me just put this original player back over here. So resources, prefabs, here it is, original player. I need to put this bad boy back over here. So now that when I run the game,
Prepare to
this is
fight.
what I have. I would recreate this whole thing from scratch, showing you everything you need to do, showing you how to debug it, how to, you know, use everything that you use here, how to shoot in the weapon, because a lot of you guys want to create first-person shooters. I wanted to show you that in this video, but apparently it's more important to ask why iOS videos are not available. Anyways, as I said, if there are not any more questions, I'm probably going to take off. And Hollywood Bollywood, you ask why I ban you, because you are spamming the chat. That's why I banned you. Anyways, as I said, for people who are interested, rewatch this and see how I just got to the player's movement. So the player movement was recreated. I don't want to stall anymore. If you guys want to see how can I actually recreate these projects from scratch, which is a lot of beneficial for you as well, then let me know in the comments below. If not, I will find something else to do on these live streams. And basically that would be it for this live stream. I planned it to be at least 2 hours, but I'm going to cut it off here so that I can see if you guys are actually interested later on, yada yada yada. And yeah, that's all there is to it for this live stream.